Hey guys, this is Jamie. Okay, so today I want to talk about some enlightened blue sky takes I've seen pretty much being thrown around. And it's funny because I was actually thinking I don't really have a topic because I've been quite busy, and then I figured that there's too much stuff on blue sky. So yeah, I'm sorry if I haven't been as active. I've really been getting killed by my thesis. Anyway, so I want to talk about certain trans takes which I've seen on Blue Sky recently, and the first take I saw was factually people saying that you should try HRT. Like if you just try it, if you don't like it, drop it, and etc. And I want to start off by saying I'm not a trans med, but I do feel like hormones is a substance that should be controlled. Now, as someone who grew up in a place where it was impossible to get HRT, I never DIY'd myself, but I obviously know people who have, and I want to say that DIY should be considered as a last resort. I never ever judge people for it, because sometimes you need to do it because there are restrictions in your country. We live, frankly, in a transphobic society regardless. So obviously, if this is your way to get it, or you don't have the money, and let's say it's really expensive in your country, you can't get a prescription due to transphobia, or maybe you're in a place that just doesn't allow HRT, or it's difficult for trans people to get it, then obviously you're doing DIY because there is no other way to get it. And I feel like in that case, society fails you rather than, you know. So it is very offensive, in my opinion, to say that just go try hormones, because there are people who obviously would want to go on it and they can't. And even advocating the idea that trying hormones as a step to explore your gender identity, I don't think is a valid excuse. Now, this is where I understand that I'm more conservative, or rather more traditional in this aspect, that I needed quite a lot of time to sort of wrap my head around my identity, because I grew up in a very transphobic place, and I needed to escape, and so I would repress my thoughts, my feelings, how I was growing up and everything. So I really focused on the fact that I wanted to get out rather than who I was at the time. So I really want to focus on the fact that I do feel like once someone understands their trans identity, there has to be a process, in my opinion, of real life experience where you factually live as who you feel for a while and see if maybe you're binary, or maybe you're not binary. I still feel like it's something that needs to settle in someone's brain. So I am of the sort of school of thinking that you need to have a live-in experience, and I don't have this personally, but I feel like a lot of people sort of go like, oh, I went on hormones too fast or whatever, and I'm not, I really don't care about trans people, but I do feel like in some cases, like it's like I came out yesterday and I'm on hormones already. In my case, there was a buffer of years where I came out and then I started hormones. I do feel like I waited a bit too long, and I'm really thankful that the doctors, which were taking care of me, saw that I was really getting desperate, and I was sped up to an extent. because I was like many years already trying to get on hormones and I couldn't, so simply because where I was I couldn't get them, so again, like, but I did a DIY, so I just didn't want to risk it. And I had a lot of life problems at the time. So yeah, so I do want to say that it is very important, in my opinion, to have that living experience before you start it. And it's very important to come out to people, to start living who you are, and I feel like then come out as trans. I am speaking about this, I understand, from a more privileged place. When I started transitioning socially, I was in more accepting countries. I'm still am in an accepting country. So I do understand that some people want to be more careful, so it also really depends on your country. Because when I would go back to my home country, I would I would remove all my facial hair, I would put on makeup in order to conceal everything, any facial hair, and pray that I wouldn't get caught, and I didn't somehow. So I do understand that it's different, sort of, but I still feel like if you're in a place that is accepting, live and experience is a helpful thing. So I am of the school of thought, if the conditions are right, that one should go through it. Then HRT is a very, well, it's a medical substance. It's not something, and this is something that I don't understand. I guess hormones is a substance you can control. You need to control, rather. So I don't understand people who try to dose it from not from microdosing. I'm talking about you start, you stop, and do it willingly, or you do it for a certain amount of time and then you stop it completely. I'm not a doctor on this, so please, big apologies, but I do feel like it is a massive shock to your organism to start something and then drop it. So I do feel like if you decide to go on hormones, it's better if you do it under control, and in this case, do not listen to me, listen to your doctor. Talk about what you want, talk about what you need, talk about your dysphoria. Find a competent doctor if you can, and make a very valid decision based on that. And it should be also with an assessment of your dysphoria, and you really need to look over it with a psychologist, a psychiatrist evaluation, etc. I know that right now there's certain evaluations being removed, so it's much easier to go on hormones. And while I do appreciate that, and I feel like it's a good thing, I still feel like we need to explore our identities a bit more before we do a certain step. So yeah, so that's pretty much how I feel about certain things. So I do not, and also wanted to say, like, for instance, in the US, in some states you have informed consent and you won't have like access to a traditional therapist, or it's too far away. So obviously that is the way trans people get hormones. So obviously nothing against informed consent in this case, or nothing against DIY. So in this case, it's more of a, what are the resources of the trans people in your surrounding area? Go from that, and like literally no judgment. More like, if there is a way for you to go more safer under medical supervision, do it. If there isn't, that's all you can do. And then I started seeing absolutely batshit takes saying that HRT is a form of colonialism. Now, I'm white. I am very white. There are issues that I may not understand when it comes to countries which were colonized, just simply because I was raised in a very racist country, actually, and I still have very racist takes from relatives, often said. And there are nuances I won't understand, but I feel like saying that HRT's colonialism is being a massive dig to the trans community. Now, many societies do have different identities, gender, and well, there is no right way, but if we're talking about binary genders, HRT has been used for people all over. And if a person wants to go on HRT, it's not colonialism. Promoting HRT in a safe way for trans people is not a bad thing. Neither is the surgeries. So this take really left me a bit uncomfortable, to put it mildly. So I really want to emphasize that there is nothing wrong in choosing HRT as a trans person. The argument of we need to be more accepting of our bodies is a bit of turf rhetoric. Some trans people are fine with their bodies, some trans people are not. That does not make a trans person less or more trans. I personally was very dysphoric about my body. Now I only have bottom dysphoria left. Other than that, I'm very pleased with how my transition went. Some people are uncomfortable with injections, so they go in gel. So for instance, there's that analogy. That does not make, in this case it's about trans men, a trans man less valid than the other one. One injection, one in gel, no difference. Yeah, I really don't understand sort of the idea of there is a certain way to be trans, there isn't. So obviously there are trans men which will do surgeries, there are trans men which won't. There are non-binary people, there are trans-masc people which might do surgeries and which won't. And it all depends on the level of dysphoria, discomfort, and what is needed for said person. So kind of trying to paint a very broad experience as no one needs HRT or we all need HRT is factually damaging. It all depends on the person, what the person needs. I mean, yeah. So I really don't understand why am I saying these takes factually. I understand that usually they come from trans people who are very unhappy, who are having their own gender issues, their own struggles, maybe not understand their own identity. And dysphoria is a very difficult thing. Like, of course, I can see sort of some trans people saying, oh, I wish I could love my body. But it's not the case very often. And as someone who used to be very dysphoric, like, I could not love my body. Right now, my biggest issue is the fact that I want to lose weight so I can start bottom surgery. So, other than my weight, I'm really fine. Nice. Yeah. I don't know. What else do I say? So yeah. Obviously, I have dysphoric days, but it's just happens. I don't know. Some days you're gonna feel like you're not good looking. I don't know, man. So yeah. So it's kind of normal to be self-conscious about yourself. It's who we are, what we feel. So yeah, and there isn't some sort of cosmic need for us to accept our bodies as they are. And I personally would probably judge plastic surgery far more um, on cis people than a trans person getting a surgery. And specifically, I don't know, you look on TikTok and I mean, power to them, but Christ, everyone has their own opinions. Someone wants to have bigger lips, someone wants drag queen brows permanently, I don't know. So yeah, so not to be judging of cis people and their plastic surgeries, but yeah, everyone has things that they can accept or not accept, decide that it's an issue, actually have a need like trans people to have a surgery if they're one of the dysphoria trans people who need to have it. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is some trans people need things, some might not. Both are valid. So yeah, stop being an asshole to other people. That's pretty much it. Sorry for not wearing makeup, sorry. I wasn't at the beach. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everyone who has been watching my videos, and in general, I've been feeling really appreciative of everyone watching this. So thank you very much for watching. Yeah, please subscribe, share this video to start a convent, pretty much start a fight in your group chat. Yeah, thank you very much.